We are here to watch Clowntown Chronicle. Here to watch. CTC is here to watch. We are here to watch Clowntown Chronicle. Here to watch. We see you through the chaos and the fall. We are here to watch every twist, every turn, every laugh we discern. We stay right here, ever to learn. We are here to watch Clowntown Chronicle. Here to watch. CTC is here to watch. We are here to watch through the madness, through the night. Woo! We are here to watch Clowntown Chronicle. Smiling bright. We are here to watch Clowntown Chronicle. We are here to watch Clowntown Chronicle.
Welcome back to the Clowntownchronicle, Chronicle, everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful Independence Day. I know I have, sitting inside listening to fireworks and cowering in the corner like a dog with PTSD. Adam, how was your 4th of July?
Oh, it was enchanting.
Enchanting?
I haven't watched fireworks in a really long time. And everybody was like, oh, let's go to the fireworks show. And I'm like, oh, there's a storm blowing in. I don't know if it's a good idea. They might cancel it. And they started early, so we all piled in a van and drove over there. And, yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was very short. It was in a rural Illinois town over a river. But yeah, I forgot how awesome they can be. And then after that, the storm blew in right after the grand finale, and we got to sit on somebody's porch and watch everybody run for cover. That was fun.
That sounds fantastic. I'm glad you're patriotic, Adam. It makes me feel a little bit better about my lack of patriotism.
Not feeling patriotic this year?
Well, let's put it this way. The best fireworks show I ever saw, well, one of the best fireworks shows I ever saw, was during the COVID years of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody was just out there because, you know, they just hated the government.
I mean, you can't get much more American than that.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know. I remember standing on the family farm, so to speak, and just like looking around me, and all these explosives are going off all around, and I'm just like, that's right. Freedom. American freedom. That's what it's all about. In fact, let me see if I can go here. Yeah, okay, we're going to look at this one in a second, but let me start with this one. Let's just take us back a little bit. I wish I had my little magic wand sound effect. You know how they do that in movies?
With a harp or whatever?
Yeah, with the little harp. How about I use this instead?
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah, it takes me back.
Yeah, let's go. Don't you? I mean, seriously, I freaking miss this kind of thing. I miss Biden. You know, those were some beautiful years, you know. When we started this show, Biden was still president. Doesn't that feel like a century ago?
It really does.
It also feels a little bit like a fever dream. Yeah. Okay, so here it is.
I need you to get vaccinated when it's your turn and when you can find an opportunity. And to help your family, your friends, your neighbors get vaccinated as well. Because here's the point. If we do all this, if we do our part, if we do this together, By July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout and a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day. That doesn't mean large events with lots of people together, but it does mean small groups will be able to get together.
Oh, for God's sake, the mixed messaging. You remember that whole like the scarcity aspect of it, but then it was like, don't go get it unless you really need it, but make sure you go get it. And then it was like, go get it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
It's like you could possibly get together on the 4th of July with your family. Now, not a big group. What the? Whatever.
Doesn't it just take you back, man?
It was so easy to do this show and complain about things when COVID was still fresh in our minds.
Uh-huh.
I think
it's almost like we should have started the show during COVID.
oh yeah. I mean, that was when everybody got red pilled because the whole thing was just so ridiculous. It was like if you didn't like buy into the weird cult wholesale, I mean, you were looking over your shoulder. I mean, it was not a good. I mean, it was a fascinating time.
It was a fascinating time. Quite frankly,
I sound like a psychopath. There's a small part of me that kind of misses it.
Why?
Because there were less people. It was quieter. And yeah, like it was just, I don't know. I think because I lived in a city at the time, there was this sort of like excitement, this thrill of being underground, so to speak.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, like you'd see all the people who are like totally into it, like wearing their stupid duckbill masks and gloves and glasses and all that, and you'd just be like, well, I'm just gonna like wear a gaiter and let it fall off my face while I'm at the store. And it was, it was like this weird like superhero complex in your brain.
Yeah.
So it was like you were a different part of the narrative. Yeah, I don't know what I do nowadays though.
The schnoz de resistance, right?
Yeah.
Where you'd let it fall off your nose, and you get people over the nose, and they like, I don't know if they think you're stupid or something, but it's like, dude, it's not over the nose because I like to smell your hatred.
Just like Biden likes to smell your hair.
That was easy.
Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't work in any kind of like service at that time. Like a few friends of mine, they worked at like coffee shops, or I knew somebody I know works in a deli commonly, and he'd have to wear a mask constantly, and the way it affected his skin was just, it was miserable. Especially with all that grease and everything flying around.
Yeah. It really was like you know that SpongeBob clip where Patrick's like kneeling in the street. What kind of place is this? Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. Meanwhile, you've just got people on TV, and all around you just like arguing about. I mean, we called it the Great Scrumble for a reason.
Neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue.
It's like,
well,
yeah.
I was listening to you and Newsfist on your latest stream yesterday. I just started to get into the Freud and Edward Bernays section in the second half. Really kicking myself for not finishing that before I came on here, but it's so interesting. It was like, it felt like Freud just discovered, and I mean, he's a giant piece of shit, but like discovered like all these secrets that people just didn't want to look at about humanity. Or he found exploits, and all of that was pushed to the max during COVID.
Yeah.
But he figured it out like a century ago.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. It's like there was like the idea of like psychology and psychiatry back then being like this new sort of religion. Like that was one thing Newsfist kept saying, was this is literally just Catholicism.
Yeah.
Like when Freud was like putting everything in terms of well, you have these hidden evil impulses that you're suppressing, and that's why you're so bad. And it's like, well, actually, that's just sin. That's original sin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting connection.
Yeah.
But I mean, what psychiatry figured out about that was how to exploit it.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. And the comparison I was trying to draw on that stream was, yeah, the difference is Christianity's like, hey, so that's not such a good thing, and maybe you should reduce it, but also don't feel bad because you can clean up and move on, and that's what redemption is all about. And the therapist's way of handling this is like, that's sin, but it's good, and you should do more of it to make sure that it gets out of your system, and you resolve that trauma or whatever, and never get any better. But
You got to get the body thetans out.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was what's interesting too, is like you called it the century of the self, or that was one of the documentaries you were watching.
Yeah.
But it is true. I think if you think about the parallels between religion and psychiatry, there's a lot they have in common. The difference is religion is more, and this is what Jung sort of tried to understand more, was that, you know, archetypes and myths, and there's like sort of this numinous quality to humans that should be sort of respected and understood, but not in a way where it's like, you know, that's what religion's for, is it's almost like a psychological balm for the masses.
Mm.
It makes more sense to people than psychiatry. I think the granular nature of psychiatry, and that's what it, I mean, it's study, like psychology is study of the soul, right? There's a lot of people that don't need to get granular with things. You know, like not everybody is like you and me. Not everybody is crazy and wants to know everything about everything. And not everybody should. Like for a lot of people, I think it's very simple. It's like, this thing bad, seek redemption.
Right.
You know, like that's all you need. You don't need to go in and talk about every trauma you've ever had in your life, every moment of your childhood, and pick it apart and break it down. Some people you don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. It's 10 in the morning. I've had my coffee.
Yeah, I can tell. I've had my coffee too. In fact, I have a whole extra half pot sitting right here so we can get into this. And we are gonna talk about cults and that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, one of the main things that we've been trying to do with Clowntown Chronicle from the beginning is talk about cults and cult think. We did an interview with Mac Moore. God, that must have been like in the 30s. When was that?
30s.
Yeah. So just if you want to listen to that interview, it's fascinating. Just search Mac Moore, Clowntown Chronicle. You'll find it. It's also just in the catalog. So if you're really feeling lazy, you can just scroll down through the catalog.
Now, is it Mac Moore or Mark Moore?
It's Mac Moore.
Okay. Because you misspelled it in the description.
Did I really?
Yeah.
The description of the title?
Of the episode. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pathetic. I should go fix that. But anyway,
yeah, because I've been wanting to look back into him because I kind of want to interview him.
Yeah, he's a fascinating guy. Absolutely. But we were talking about it in the context of political cults, right? We were talking about it in the context of what you called cryontology, which you still deserve so much credit for that.
Thanks.
Wait, do you want me to, should I play the cryontology button? I'm sure nobody here has heard it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we made a button for Adam because this was our thing for a while.
It could be called, well, you could call it a religion of religions.
Bloody peasant!
Yeah, because our idea was that the woke political cult was basically a religion for peasants.
Well, it's the namesake for the show, like Clown Town. You know, there were all these blue-haired freaks protesting about everything. I think the last we heard from them was with Minnesota and the ice stuff.
Yeah, they're losing street cred, to say the least. I mean, I love it when they come out because it's endless entertainment for us, and I don't have to work that week because all I do is just collect clips.
Yeah,
but it was in the pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, anti-Zionist protests that they were all, losing their heads about. There was a guy who set himself on fire. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. There were a couple people that did that.
A couple people. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one was just, he streamed it, and the other guy was just there was like somebody at the National Mall or in Washington DC or something like that. And they just like turn the camera, and there's just like a guy who looks like he's in a Die Hard movie burning alive on the grass.
Yeah.
Things that get memory hold, right?
I think, well, okay, so since we're going to talk about cults, the thing about Cryontology and about pretty much any cult in general is like there is a steady commitment where it's like who can one up the other, who can get slightly crazier and within an acceptable range, and that acceptable range continues out till you get to the extremes of literally setting yourself on fire for the cult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when it starts to die out, when shit gets real.
Yep.
I think that's kind of what's happened to the woke cult, is they pushed it, they stepped on the gas pedal until they burned it out. Like, that's kind of where they got, and then they got all confused because it was like, well, we have to defend Palestinians, but we can't be anti-Semitic, but what, and then they got all turned around, and I think now they don't really know what they're about anymore.
Well, it's perfect that you say that, because in the context of COVID, there was a time right when it started where everything got really quiet. And this was, it was like, oh, this is kind of ominous quiet, where they were listening to the news that was telling them there's this dangerous, deadly disease that makes you bleed from your eyes going around, and it's huge. And I remember seeing some streamers and podcasters and, people of our kind out there saying, notice how quiet the left is right now. And that was before the whole thing kicked off with the race war of the summer of love. And it was like, you thinking back on it now, that was pretty ominous. But as far as when things get real, when a person sets themselves on fire,
yeah,
they get quiet.
I think I have an excellent visual for what this is.
Mm-hmm.
What the end of a cult is. You remember the movie Heavyweights?
Yeah.
You remember whoever isn't familiar, Heavyweights is a movie from the 90s about a fat camp where all these fat kids are sent to this camp to lose weight, and it turns into like some kind of crazy regime, run by Ben Stiller. But at the end, they basically overthrow the regime, and then they bring in a bunch of junk food, and there's this scene where they're all around a bonfire and they're playing the Blue Danube and slow motion footage of all these kids just like stuffing their faces and like having food fights, and it's just utter pandemonium and hedonism. And that's what happened to the left. They got what they wanted. They feasted. They made a mess. And then the next scene in the movie is they're all waking up. The fires died down. They're all groaning and sick.
Yeah.
The camp counselor comes out and he's like, "It's time to wake up, children."
Good morning.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They got what they wanted. They writhed in it like swine. And then now they're waking up and they're like, "Oh shit, I'm 40."
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. What? And then the lesson, of course, is don't put Twinkies on your pizza, which, of course, is the immortal teaching of, quit while you're ahead.
Yep.
But that's the problem, is like in the context of all of that, you could sit back and pretend like the left didn't win or whatever. They got everything they wanted, and then they wanted more because they're the hungry caterpillar. If you give a mouse a cookie or something like that,
if you give a bird a sausage, it'll tell you jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
That's right. But yeah, so when people start self-immolating, that has kind of a shocking effect, right? We see that all the time in cults, like at the end of Jim Jones, that sort of thing. Is like when Jim Jones was on the stage, like, you guys got to drink the Kool-Aid. You know that there were a bunch of people leaving because you can hear him on the tape say, I see a bunch of racist white people in the back climbing over the fence and leaving the cult. Those people are cowards. And it's like, yeah, because it got really freaking real. Nobody wants to. Some people will get really deep in, and the moment you're like, drink the Kool-Aid, they're like, I'm out.
Well, I mean, the same thing happened with Heaven's Gate. They got more and more extreme. And strangely, they had a way of like filtering. Well, not strangely, they always have a way of filtering out the less faithful. But Heaven's Gate was like okay with it. They were like, oh, well, you don't want to do this ritual and go up to the UFO. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas something like the Jim Jones cult, it was like they literally stopped people from leaving and forced them to drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh my God. Did you know they have footage of the inside of that compound? I don't want to look at that.
God.
No, thanks. Jesus. Yeah, it's the same thing writ large, but it's instead of it being like a bunch of people who read things on the internet a little too much, it's the entire mainstream media trying to drive you insane when what you should be doing is celebrating the 4th of July with fireworks because you love America, and that's it.
Money on the mouth, Vernon. You can't see him on my camera. My shit all fucked, so it don't even matter.
Was it bootleg fireworks?
Oh, dude.
Oh, shit. Jesus! Lord Jesus! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus! Jesus! Oh, Lord Jesus! Lord Jesus! Oh, shit! Whoa! That was awesome!
You're just out there celebrating with your friends, and then suddenly it's World War I.
Oh, shit! Oh, Lord Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Get the water, nigga! Jesus Christ!
Oh. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Right before we jumped to this clip, I was thinking about Heaven's Gate. We were looking at the page, and I just thought in my mind, I was like, well, I hope in some capacity those people were right and they did end up on the UFO.
You know,
But that audio clip of that guy going, oh, shit, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that like the quick turn to that was awesome is what Heaven's Gate experienced. Like, they drank the poison and then they were like, oh no, and then they teleported into a UFO because that's how that works.
Yeah, I mean, charity hopes all things or love hopes all things? I don't know.
I mean, don't join a cult.
Well,
everybody, it's bad
speaking
for your
of
health.
one thing Newsfist and I have been talking about a little bit recently is sort of race cults, and one of them is the Yakub story.
The best one.
The best one. Fantastic stuff. I mean, incredible content, right? We also talked a little bit about Tartaria, and that's all wound up within your favorite topic of all time, which is, is of course the truth.
Uh-oh.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. You know what's funny though? This morning I woke up and I chose hate. I opened up YouTube while I was cleaning my kitchen. And oh boy, there was John Levi with a new video waiting for me.
Uh-oh.
And I listened to it.
How was it? What did he tell? So John Levi, give us a little context here.
He's like one of the biggest like Tartaria YouTubers. He's actually really funny and somewhat calming to listen to because he sounds like Kevin Spacey on Quaaludes. But he's just, I don't know. I still like him. Like I don't believe in the Tartaria stuff, but it's it's a fun little exercise in the imagination to watch his stuff.
I like him.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was the one that I watched.
Should we listen to a little bit so people can hear what he sounds like?
Yep.
I'm with you. I like this guy too, and I don't know why, except that he does make me laugh sometimes.
So there's the Antiquitech.
What's that? What's Antiquitech?
This is a viral video of like some temple in like Cambodia, and the theory with Tartaria is that all the church spires around the world were used to harness free energy from the air. In this video of this temple spire, it has like, I don't know, like a radiating glowing light around it because the Antiquitech is still working.
So let us check out this. This is the main feature. This channel had a name before. Now
So he's on video now. Like he actually puts up a camera now?
I guess so.
That's cool.
I was surprised by that. This one's actually quite boring. Near the end, he has, or like the mid, he has some footage that he thinks is fake of like space lasers shooting Venezuela before the earthquake.
What?
Yeah.
Let me see if
That was the more interesting part of this video, is the targeted nature of that earthquake.
This here?
Yeah, this is it.
don't know. How could I? Is this legit? This is nuts, actually. I didn't think that I was going to show something like this. And again, I can't verify this.
Dude, space lasers. They're actually space lasers. Look at this.
Can't verify it. This is like in Spanish. Pretty nuts. Just, that is so nuts. I don't know. That doesn't look legit at all. But this is from John F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, God. I love guys like this. So, so honest, you know?
Yep. Yeah. No, I like him. He's good to fall asleep to if you're sick.
Oh.
Like last time I was sick, I just binged his videos because like I was in sort of this fever state where I was like fading in and out of sleep, but then I'd wake up and there'd be John talking about Tartaria.
A
And it made me feel
plywood
better.
with this cheap vinyl wrapping. There we go. Who's proud of this? What a joke.
Amazing. I wonder, so the reason I bring this up is I wonder if he's talking about CERN, right? You and I have heard of CERN. Everyone's heard of CERN. It's the demon gate that they're opening, or they were opening. Did you know they closed it down?
What?
Yeah.
So there's definitely nothing strange about them closing CERN down for 4 years and reopening it on June of 2030. The 2030 agenda. And there's definitely nothing connected to the fact that there is a massive strawberry full moon tonight.
Strawberry full moon? I remember I got one of those at a coffee shop in Austin.
That is definitely something you would get at a coffee shop in Austin.
Yeah, yeah. The what was the coffee shop that went over there? Their drinks are literally called moons. Summer moon.
Like a Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, did we ever when I was in Austin, did we go to Summer Moon?
If it had like a porch outside where everybody was allowed to smoke.
No, that was Radio. That place was great. You just go out there. You just go out there with a pack of cigarettes and a laptop, and everyone thinks you're a liberal. You fit right in.
It was funny though. We went to a couple of coffee shops like that, and yeah, it was just a bunch of liberals. And then there'd be like the rando guy with a pipe in the corner trying to look smart.
Mm-hmm. Probably reading like Marx or something.
Yeah.
For the third time.
It's just a different jacket over a copy of Twilight.
Moon tonight, the same day that they're shutting down the Big Hadron Collider. Oh, you don't know what CERN is? Well, this is CERN's logo, and I don't know if you can see, but there is a very clear 666 incorporated into the logo. And hey, nothing dodgy about the statue that's outside the building, which is a statue of Shiva, the deity of destruction. Like, as you can see here, the Hindu mythology, Shiva is indeed the Lord of Destruction. But he is fundamentally a deity of transformation rebirth. He is a core member of the Trimurti, which is...
He also looks like he's in front of, like, in a Stargate. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like he's in a Stargate. There's some people saying that that CERN is a Stargate. Have you heard this one?
Oh, yeah.
What do
I've
you
seen
think?
videos of it activating and opening a portal.
Does it have the big like swoosh of water that comes out and you have to watch out or it'll vaporize you?
No, it's just like, I remember the videos, lightning and clouds.
Ooh.
Begin the new world order. And let's just take a little look at what they're actually going to be doing in this 4-year shutdown. Well, firstly, they're going to be doing high luminosity upgrades, which is teams that will dismantle portions of the 27-kilometer ring to install revolutionary, super powerful, superconducting magnets. And just like it says here, their revamped 2030 system will allow CERN researchers to study rare phenomena and expand research in dark matter.
Dark matter? That sounds evil. What's this? This is where it gets weird. He's going to show some of the rituals that they do at this thing. You know, because they're all materialist atheists. Ha 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 ha. And they do these because they really want to dunk on Christians. Ha 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 ha.
Well, there's one of these videos that they said was for CERN, but it was actually for an opening of a tunnel through some mountains. I can't remember where, but they did do some creepy stuff at CERN.
Yeah, that was one of those. That was one of them Nordic countries, wasn't it, where that happened?
Yeah, you know, where all the freaks live.
Is very freaky.
He's right.
Check this out.
Yeah.
She joins us now watching the ceremony. I was just saying there, Imogen, this very enjoyable spectacle with dancers, and I presume some people that have taken part in the project as well, shows just how immensely
Enjoyable?
proud.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. You know, you like degenerate stuff, don't you?
Ugh.
Was this the one? I remember this.
Yeah, this is for the tunnel, I think.
Totally normal behavior.
I mean, like,
Switzerland.
let's just take a step back, from all this obvious occult nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the logistics of this. You have to practice this shit in some theater hall.
Yeah.
And you have to have all these people, like, well, now the things that look like beetles are going to raise up in the air. We're going to have this rear screen projection of a goat.
Yeah.
Dude, can
you imagine doing sound check for this shit right here? All right, we need Beetle number 1 to test your mic, say check. Oh, I guess they probably don't give the Beatles a mic, but every one of the performers who sings has a mic. They got to do all that. I mean, the production in this is crazy. Can we get somebody to go out here and visit this? That's my question.
The tunnel?
Yeah, the tunnel. Here's another video about CERN.
CERN is shut down, and it just got creepier. I'm sure by now you've heard they're stopping all the LHC experiments for 4 years. This sounds like a good thing, right? Unfortunately, there's way more to this story. I'm sure most of you have experienced the Mandela effect.
Okay, I'm going to 100% prove and explain to you how the Mandela effect works and why we've all experienced this and why it's so shocking. So look at this. You remember Pikachu? Didn't he have that black spot on his tail? Nope. Go try to find a picture of him with a black spot on his tail. There's no black spot. Looney Tunes. Wasn't it Tunes with 2 O's? Nope. It's apparently always been TUNES.
Okay, this is like so 2017. I'm skipping this. I don't want to watch this explanation. I want to hear about CERN, man. Let's get to CERN.
Wrongly.
Well, almost 10 years ago, a kid named Max tried to explain this strange phenomenon.
This is our original timeline, right? But as soon as this starts, we are infinitely catapulted into an infinite number of parallel universes. And somewhere infinity down the line, here's our universe, right? And then we're constantly shifting into alternate universes as we speak. And that expansion of infinite universes is our reality as we know it in time. So, therefore, if there are other universes, they're next to ours, and this actually relates to my theory of the Mandela effect and how the particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it. And
The universe? What's the universe directly next to ours, Adam?
The stupid one.
Yeah, Hell World, Clown Town, perhaps.
Yeah.
we do have people who do visits for things for the show, and we actually had somebody go to a parallel universe this week.
Oh,
did I tell you about this?
Somehow you failed to mention that a listener traveled to a parallel dimension.
Well, they did. Arthur and Callie went to a parallel dimension. He went.
It would be Arthur.
he committed, and he did. He went to the Minions Wendy's in California.
God bless him.
God bless him. This is the kind of listener engagement I want. So he made this video.
We have boots on the ground. We have agents everywhere.
We have one in California, one in the UK, currently Idaho or somewhere, and several people in Indiana. Here we go.
And there she is. Wendy's, the restaurant famously known all over the globe as the happiest place on earth, where there's no rules, just right, where the food is finger-licking good, and you can have it your way. They've even put 2 convenient disabled spots in the front for more advanced customers who now need help getting around to eat it.
Oh.
There she is. The famous landmark of the drive-through menu. You can
Look at this shit up here. They have a whole specialized banner for this. So I'm assuming this isn't the full-blown drive-through. My guess would be that was only open for like a couple of days because that was an expensive production. But we've got to
still counts.
I've got to wonder if he got the banana frosting.
almost, instead of looking at combos, see future medical procedures you'll require. The #1 double bypass. The extra large dialysis Coke. Today we're going to be getting Minions and Monsters, the adult edition. Ah yes, the meal has finally arrived.
That doesn't look that bad. Right?
Respect for wearing fingerless gloves. I feel like I'm the only one who does that anymore. No, I'm not alone.
Yep. We all look like master thieves with our fingerless gloves. It's part of the uniform.
Today I ordered what can be described only as the perfect requirement for consideration to immigrate to America. The bacon double cheeseburger. Now, obviously not the only requirement, but if you can't pass test question #1, if you can't eat one of these, then thank you, but stay home. The Monsters and Minions meal comes with the banana shake. And as you can tell, it's very colorful. Full of, I'm sure, red dye #5 and yellow 1500. Totally safe to eat, but quite colorful. And what's this? A Minion adult toy, which you can tell it's an adult toy because it has the 3 years and up.
I forgot about that. When I was talking to Newsfist about this, I forgot that there was an adult toy for the Minions meal. Do you remember that bit?
No.
Maybe you
With
didn't.
the use of adult toy in context of Minions, I think we should find a different way to say it.
Oh, God.
That's very important. Granted, I'm sure some story will come out sooner or later. 30-something-year-old man chokes to death on Wendy's Minions toy. Well, let's see what we got here. Ooh. Why is it wrapped? What the heck? Uh-oh. Oh. And it's a beautiful piece of colored Chinese plastic.
It even says made in China on his ass.
Well, where else would they make this crap?
There you have it, folks. The Wendy's Monsters and Minions Adult Meal. The ultimate slop.
Going right on the dashboard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now that's what I'm
And
talking about.
he should make documentaries about just any random thing. Like the pacing of this and the voice just so relaxing.
I know. That's what it's like. One of the first things we talked about was like, he goes, yeah, people are always want me to come on podcasts now, and I'm a writer. And I'm like, do you know why they want you on podcasts? It's because you sound awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Great work. Excellent work.
Yes, excellent work. Anybody, if you see something that's nasty on the show and you want to send in a clip, be my guest. My DMs are open. Yeah. We have a happy little family over here at CTC. It's growing, It's our growing family with the Minions Banana Frosty made in China.
It is kind of a strange decision that they wrapped that toy in like the same wax paper that they'd like wrap a burger in.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
It's like you could potentially trick some idiot into thinking it's a food item.
That's true.
They had to put something in there so it wouldn't just be rattling around in the box.
That's probably also true. They also didn't have to do the box. What they could have done is they could have put it in one of those little bags that you have to tear open,
Mm-hmm.
What they do with all the Wendy's toys or McDonald's toys. But no, they went with a box and paper. That was a marketing decision right there.
Yeah, it's a seal of quality. It's a custom product, right?
Yeah. So if this isn't evidence that we've crossed over into a parallel universe, I don't know what is. That right there, that face, that Minion's face right there.
Yep.
That's proof that we've crossed over another dimension.
The Clowniverse.
So the good news about the Clowniverse is you can fight it, right? All you have to do is make a cowboy hat out of reflective material.
I have made a cowboy hat that blocks your face from security cameras, such as a flock camera. There's our mock camera. And I am curious if anybody else out there is interested in me making this a full-on product.
Yeah, so you get the cowboy hat reflecting your security camera, and then you just do that. What is this dance, Adam? Fortnite?
Making this a full-on product.
It's like a floss or something like that. Are we cooked?
Well, no, I mean he's cooked because his face might be invisible on a security camera, but he's also filming his face with a phone that is connected to all of the tech corporations on the planet. So good job fighting back, sir.
Yeah, I have to screenshot him flipping off the camera with his reflective cowboy hat.
That's going to be the art.
You can buy them at Clanker Killer Cowboys. Amazing. He's here to sell you something. And that's actually a lot of what this stuff is. I don't know if you've ever seen this kind of a thing where somebody breaks down what influencer videos like this are supposed to be. This is another iFunny find.
People do not understand how dangerous it is to spray stuff out of aerosol cans onto their food.
He's trying to get you to buy different spray bottles.
You know what's bad for the liver? Bread.
He's selling a $111 liver detox supplement.
Genetically modified mayonnaise.
They want you to download an app that tells you what not to eat.
So my husband works in one of the top cancer research labs in our area, and these are all the things that he tells us to avoid.
She wants you to go to a website where you pay to fill out forms that you actually could just fill out for free. If someone's trying to scare you about food while also selling you some sort of solution, you can just ignore them. Out of 10?
Nice.
Yeah, I actually like this bit right in here where there's like this app.
Yeah.
Because not we, but definitely I have fallen for this stuff where I'm like, the app says this is harmful, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these influencers making these videos about how everything around you is slop, which we know. Of course we know. But they all use this app to prove it. That's how nefarious this is. Where I'm like, so this is a way to sell an app, I guess. But that's because we live in an Indian future where everything's a scam.
I mean, this is one way to quote unquote do business.
Yeah. I saw a post that made me laugh actually about that, where there were all of these like first generation immigrants who are like the darlings of Trump now. And they were all like, I just made my $3 million in America for the 250th anniversary of the country. I love this country. And in a less cynical time, I would have been like, hey man, that's really freaking cool. But now I'm like, how did you make $3 million? This is the land of the free. How did you make that $3 million? Because do I want to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just kind of throw out any sense of honor, you can make money.
Right.
But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. I wouldn't even say that it's laziness that keeps a lot of people from doing this. I think it's just like not everybody wants to be a scammer. A lot of people want to do honest business, and unfortunately, that's not what makes you, a crap ton of money these days.
Yeah, it's about making money nowadays. The honest way isn't fast enough. You can't make enough that way, right?
No.
You can pay your rent and live in an apartment or whatever, and maybe even work your way up to a different tax bracket, and then you just get taxed even harder. No,
yeah,
the way to make money. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is a reflection of what you've talked about in the past of like people getting scrappy. This is what you have to do in a scam culture if you want to get ahead. Yeah. You have to be as scummy as everybody else.
Yeah. And then you can do what it is that you want.
Yeah. So that brings us to our first ad for Casper mattresses and Raycons and NordVPN.
Yeah, NordVPN. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting paid a lot to say that.
Another good example is AI, no doubt. This is a really good one from Husk IRL. This one appears to be kind of losing some steam. It feels like AI from month to month is like the greatest thing ever that can do anything you want to just a joke very quickly. Mm-hmm. Now, people who get the nice ones still say that it's really the best thing ever. And I can see that. The consumer grade AI is only going to get worse. That's my feeling.
That's every technology.
Exactly. Yeah.
They leave the good stuff for the people who can afford it. And then everything else gets enshittified.
Yeah.
It's why Microsoft continues to get, not Microsoft, but Windows gets worse with every update. It needs to update like 3 times every day for some reason. It's why Adobe, all their products are garbage, and we need to be finding alternatives because they're basically a criminal organization. But they don't have to make the service better for you because you're just going to use it anyway because you don't have a choice.
Right.
Anyway.
That's exactly right. So these little things, we watch a lot of little bullshit on this show, don't we?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit of bullshit every now and then. So I see little things like this as like a microcosm of a greater trend, right? Like there's like a little example here that's not just an allegory. It's just the same thing writ large or writ small that is writ large.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I want to see this video.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, not much. Just here and ready to help. What's going on with you today?
I got 3 of you here now. The more the merrier. So I was thinking with your collective intelligence, we could now count to 100 no problem.
Oh, nice. Yeah, totally. We can do that. So just let me know how you want to break it up.
Yeah, just count from 1 to 100 and don't stop.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start us off.
I'll say 1, and then the next day I can say 2, and we'll just go until we hit 100. Ready? I'll start. 1.
Yep, I'm ready. So I'll go after you. Let's keep it smooth, and we'll just count straight through. Go for it.
Dang it.
Perfect. So I'll say 1, you say 2, and we'll just keep that rhythm going. Ready? Here we go. 1.
Exactly. Perfect. I'm ready. Go ahead and say 1, and I'll jump in with 2 right after you.
They're so annoying. I mean, to be fair,
that is the perfect illustration. Oh man. They can't do real work. They can't really solve any problems. They're estimating things.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
Okay.
What?
I mean, I'm not like I don't think this is showing that AI is like stupid or useless or anything, but it is showing like the fundamental limitations of it.
Yeah.
Like the people that are trying to sell you that, oh man, it can do everything. It really can't. And not that counting to 100 is like especially useful. But you can't reliably ask it to solve problems. That's why people call them AI tools. It's kind of a, like the way that I look at it is it's kind of just like a guess machine, you know.
Mhm.
It's like a better Magic 8-ball.
It's good because it's good as a search engine. It can help me find resources or find the word for something that I'm looking for. Like today, I was trying to remember something about what was it? Transfer of excitation or excitation transfer theory. That's what it was. Where like if you're in a high state of emotion and you're confronted with something that has nothing to do with that emotion, you start to attribute that next thing as being the reason you're agitated, right? But also, that theory is also why like they get you all jacked up and amped up and all that stuff before they hit you with a great example of this is the news making you depressed before selling you Zoloft.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like, oh, everything is horrible. By the way, here's a pharmaceutical that can help you with your depression. It's like perfect. Excitation transfer theory. That's what it is. But beyond that, I haven't really found a use for this. I think Claude is really interesting, especially like Claude design, because that's kind of where I use AI a lot for generating images and things, whether it's for the show or otherwise. And that does great most of the time. But the way this stuff is being advertised and talked about, like it's going to solve all the world's problems and that like all you have to do is just ask it a question and it'll do whatever you want. It's not there yet, right? And I think that's what Husk is doing. He's not really going after AI. I think he's going after how it's being advertised to normies.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've talked a little bit in the past about AI being like you're outsourcing your thinking. So like using it too much will make you stupider.
Yeah.
But I think that's where people get tripped up is like the parlor trick element of it, where it talks to you and it sounds kind of like a person. It's like it's not really intelligence; it just sounds like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've found myself using it for brainstorming sometimes. Like if I'm trying to, I don't know, just get like some different perspectives on things, it can help with that. But sometimes it fails outright. Like I was trying to, you remember Seventh Sanctum?
Yeah.
Which was a random generator for creative writers like back in the early days of the internet. I think it's still around. But it would help you like come up with like, I need 50 names for a fictional country. You know, I need, oh yeah, there it is. It's still around.
This is it.
I need a character for my D&D campaign. And it would just mix and match like a whole bunch of things. And you wouldn't usually take the ideas directly, but it would give you more to work with. Like, oh, I like how that name sounds, but I don't like the last name. So I'll take the last name from this other one So, like, here's an example. Aaron just generated story ideas.
Yeah, let me bring that up.
Oh, I was going to read it.
Yeah.
The theme of the story, allegorical action. The main characters, humble boatman and violent astronaut. See, like, just that premise alone is interesting. Like, how does a humble boatman end up with a violent astronaut? Like, that's great for, like, thinking up, for, you know, your brain figuring out the rest of that story. The start of the story, reconciliation. The end of the story, unveiling.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I've used Gemini to try and do this kind of thing, and it's actually worse than this.
Really?
Because it gives you too much information. And you have to, like, argue with it to work on a level of mystique or mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's basically, this is kind of how I see AI. It might be more intelligent, but don't use it for answers. Use it to find better questions to enhance your thinking. But yeah, mostly I just use it for video games. Like, where do I find this frickin' item in the middle of nowhere in this game, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, so with Seventh Sanctum, we were looking at this like when we were in freaking grade school.
Yeah.
It's been around for a really, really long time. And it's good for, if you're a creative person, it's good for stimulating your imagination and making you think outside of your little box, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still using some kind of like, it's like Mad Gabs or Mad Libs.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that. Action film trailers, right? In a mysterious galaxy, a technician seeks the truth. In an ominous kingdom, in an era of hopelessness and technology, 6 treasure hunters try to find the truth. Right? Like, you can see stuff like that. But the point is, like, it's a good tool because it's helping you do something in your own mind, in your brain. And stuff like Claude or Claude Design is good for helping you iterate quickly, and you can modify it without having to, like, remember a ton of hotkeys and drag around various prototypes forever. You can just tell it, make 5 iterations of this. You can pick your favorite, and then you can just filter from there. So every decision that you make, if you're designing something, is a design decision. It's not a technical limitation.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is it can make the prototypes, but you still need human feedback to verify it.
Right.
So,
but anyway, how about one more, and then we'll move on to the cult section, because I really do want to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
This is one of our favorite things to talk about. So this just came out, and I have to play this because it's the first time I've seen Mr. Rapaport in a while. He fades in and out of my timeline and reappears now and then to say just crazy things.
It always coincides with how much batteries or how much power they send to CERN. Like, you can tell CERN's running on full speed when Rapaport manifests in front of you.
Yeah, like they're doing a little dance in Switzerland or wherever the hell that was, and you just suddenly the gate opens.
You hear the laugh. Oh, I'm so glad you found the button.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. Rapaport is Rapaport is like a worthy adversary for the show. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I'm so glad he's around. But anyway, so this is this is him.
So
on a podcast talking about, Rapaport things.
So wait, that there's no tunnel? Well, you're going off there.
Well, there's tunnels, obviously, but
I got one.
You got to cut that out. You can't say that. I'm admitting that because they talk about the tunnels in Brooklyn.
They did find tunnels in Brooklyn.
Yes, but no one's ever publicly said that there are Jewish tunnels in Hollywood. Yeah. And I would like you to cut that out.
I will cut that out. I'll give you the whole episode. You can prove it.
Okay.
That's on camera.
Okay, cut that out. There's no one's ever said. I'm saying it, and I know you're going to cut it out, that there are Jewish tunnels, exclusively Jewish tunnels in.
We can't talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, you've never been in it, so that's the thing. You didn't even know about it, let alone being in it.
But you say I can't keep it in.
I'm kidding. Keep it in. That's a good clip.
What's a Jewish tunnel?
What's a Jewish tunnel? What's a Los Angeles Jewish tunnel?
Like it goes right under the cantors? You got a fucking table? Where are we at? What are we talking about?
It starts at cantors.
What matzo ball? They're open
starts-
past midnight now.
It starts at Cantor's, and then I mean, this is 2026, so originally it just started at Cantor's.
Yeah, that shit goes all the way to Factors.
Factors, and then we're going right to Paramount.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, take your. You know, when there's traffic, you know, you could walk through the Jewish tunnels and skip traffic.
Wait.
The 405 ain't got shit on the
I
Jewish
love
tunnels.
how you claim them as Jewish tunnels.
Not claim them; they are Jewish tunnels.
So what are they used for?
Jews moving things around, carting things around.
So
It's
you're
like-
saying this is true?
Yes, Jewish tunnels of Los Angeles. This breaking news. The Jewish tunnels of Los Angeles are real. I've been in there. Every Jew has been in there many
Say
times.
word.
Ask me a Jewish
Say
person.
word.
And tell me if I've asked. I'll tell you if I've seen him in the tunnels. Name a Jewish person.
What's his face?
Name a Jewish Hollywood person.
Ari Emanuel.
Yes. Duh.
Wow.
Yeah. Duh. There's the Burgess Meredith line. He's got his own fucking line. They named it after he passed. Go on. Paul Newman's got. I mean, I remember I see
Paul Newman, by the way, is Jewish.
In the 90s, I saw Paul Newman down in the Jewish tunnels. The blue eyes are beautiful.
I see what you're trying to say. There is no Jewish tunnels by saying there's Jewish tunnels. I see what you're doing.
No, I'm telling you.
People are going to run with that.
I'm acknowledging there's Jewish tunnels.
Do you know the term in plain sight? Are you doing it in plain sight?
No, I am telling you that I am acknowledging the Jewish tunnels as a real thing.
Wow.
What's not to love?
My God.
If he keeps doing bangers like that, you know.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a Jewish conversation. Like, just so many levels, so many rug pulls. Like,
I like
quality.
that. The other guy calls out, you know, so this is a hiding in plain sight thing. And Rapaport's like, I already know about that trick. So I'm acknowledging that they're there. Oh my gosh. Talk about a squirrely sense of humor.
Oh.
But there's going to be
it.
conspiracy theorists, you know, who are like, well, this is just called soft disclosure. He's joking about it, so that means it's real, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, Hollywood, like logistically, Jewish tunnels would make a ton of sense.
I'm not even going to ask for an explanation.
I mean, okay, like just in the most G-rated version of it, you need to move equipment from one set to the next. Right?
Yeah.
Traffic's crazy.
Yeah.
All of the best people in Hollywood are Jewish. Therefore, naturally, you either have Jewish sky bridges or Jewish tunnels.
So which is it going to be?
Tunnels, obviously.
Obviously. Disney stole the idea. They put it under Disney World. You heard it here first.
Wow, what a great show.
Yeah, what a great show.
It's doing the real investigative journalism here.
Yeah. And there are many ways to support this ridiculous show. Just stick with us. It'll be over in just a moment. But first, a message from our affiliates.
Summer is here. Make it endless with Sport Drink.
Oh, yeah. Adam, you like Sport Drink, right?
Oh, yeah.
I like Sport Drink. It's delicious.
I'm saving all the cans so I can build a wall in my basement.
That's weird because I'm saving the cans too.
I had these friends in college where they just drank Arizona teas all the time and they saved all the cans. And by the end of the school year, their entire apartment was just like lined with Arizona tea cans.
Mm.
And I kind of want to do the same thing. I want to show my brainless dedication to a brand.
Of course.
Did I tell you about the weird anomaly I found in one of the cans?
You found an anomaly in a can of Sport Drink?
Yeah, there was basically a fruity pebble or a
what?
Like a crunchberry sized blob of like sugar in one of them. And I took it out and I put it on my countertop just to see if my woman would notice it. And she didn't. And then it melted.
It melted.
Yeah, it's been really humid. The magic Sport Drink egg
Oh my
melted.
gosh.
I was hoping it would like hatch a little sport drink dragon or something, but you know.
Well, Elon Musk actually reposted a sport drink ad this week. So they've made it. Like they did a patriotic 250th anniversary thing, and Elon Musk reposted it, and it was just an AI song with some AI generated video and a little bit of archival footage of America in there. But they introduced a new America flavor. But anyway, yeah, I really like it. I feel better drinking it. That's about it. I wouldn't drink Gatorade every day because it tastes like ass, but I drink this pretty much every day because it tastes amazing. And it doesn't make me feel like trash. Real quick, we do have to talk about our donations. They're slim, brother. They've been slim for a while.
That's not donations, Aaron. That is donation.
Yeah, that is donation. And we've had donation for quite a while now. We need support, everybody. Time to get on the stick, as they say. We have one from Tom from Texas, or otherwise known as Zeke Buckaroo. You can follow him on YouTube. He did our opening music for this show and Clown-Based Lifeforms and the closers, believe it or not. He sends 555. He says, "Happy 4th. Don't let the godless commies get you down. We are still the best country out there, mainly because all the others are shitholes. But you take what you can get. Onward and upward. I am here to watch."
Nice.
Any recommendation on what button we should play for him?
Give him a Rapaport laugh.
But okay. We can do the Rapaport laugh. It's just hiding in my.
Oh, okay. We just listened to that one, so you pick one, just at random. Nice.
There you go. I like that one a
Yeah.
lot. If you want to support the show, here's the link. You can also send money to Venmo. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. And make sure to include a note if you want it read on the air. You can also join the Patreon and support us for $5 a month. We're planning more bonus content. We're trying to figure out a couple of formats that'll go up and be Patreon exclusive. And then you can also buy stickers. We actually sold a bunch of the Capybara stickers recently, which was really cool. Thanks to Daniel, who, by the way, will return to the show when he's finished moving. If you're broke, just remember to help us out in the algo, because richer people will find it that way. Richer people than you.
Yeah, like Elon Musk.
Yeah, I mean, if Sport Drink can get Elon Musk to retweet him, maybe we can. That's never going to happen. What am I talking about? All right.
Maybe if we become friends with Elon, he'll send us $1 trillion.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. Rich people don't send money to little guys like us making the next great Mark Levin show out of our garage. That doesn't happen. It's kind of crazy. Do you want to talk about cults?
I always want to talk about cults.
Okay.
Not really, but
so everybody knows everybody knows about their favorite cult. They're hilarious, or not hilarious. They're weird. They're interesting to read about. There's tons of true crime podcasts about this kind of thing. But the reality is, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, there are cults that are out there that are really, really catchy and interesting that people get sucked into, that don't involve a UFO and, drinking a mixture of vodka and several different kinds of drugs in order to go meet the UFO people in the sky. Right? Not every cult is Jim Jones.
Right.
But what do they have in common? They have a structure in common. What else?
Mm-hmm. They all follow like a similar program, which I think is kind of what you have up here on the screen. But when we covered it, I don't know. I can't remember it was an early episode where I wrote like a thing on cults because we were trying to figure out why Cryontology was following the same structure as a cult, which it totally does. I think, sorry, I drew a blank. What was the question?
The question was, what do all cults have in common, even if they don't transport you to an alien spaceship at the end of them? I have your notes here from the last time we covered this, actually.
Okay.
If you want to talk about them. There's
what?
No, go ahead.
So yeah, they have, like I said, a program that they follow. So the notes I have written here is the formation and sustaining elements of destructive cults. And this was from a book I read called Cults Inside Out, because I don't know, I just can't get enough information about this, because like it is a vacuum of a program. Like once you start, stopping is very difficult. So number one, isolation of members. Whoa,
sorry,
zooming in and out. You create a small world for them to live in with its own rules dictated by the leader. Now, that was one thing Mac Moore said, was that there doesn't always have to be a charismatic leader. And I think that's the case with Cryontology. They didn't really have like a singular figure that they were around. It was more of like a body of minds all thinking the same way. Number two is you establish exit costs. So that goes along the lines of like the sunk cost fallacy, which is what you see in Scientology, with people investing progressively more and more money in learning the upper levels of the program to, you know, take the bridge to total freedom or whatever they call it, which I think it costs like, to go clear, I think it costs like $250,000. So you're sinking all this money into it. You get into this little community that if you leave, you will be, your entire world basically collapses because you lose all your friends and family that are still in the cult.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think with every single one, you instill a sense of fear and terror, which in the book he listed as debility, deception, and dread. You kind of want people to always be worried about an unforgivable sin that they are constantly committing, whether they realize it or not. And you need them to keep coming back for either more programming or rededication, revival, all this stuff, so that they basically they're trapped in a loop of, you get dirty, you must get clean again. And then you have a almost eternal sense of doom if you fall out of line. So that's like where a lot of people, like, you know, they get very scared of hell, or I don't think there is a hell in Scientology. I think the hell in Scientology is you become a suppressive person and everybody hates you and they stand outside your house with cameras. But anyway, do you want me to keep going through this?
No, you're good. If you want to keep going, because, well, real quick, just a note on that. This exit costs, plus the danger of staying in, you're constantly sort of between two worlds where you're not in, you're not out. They're constantly, you know, are you sure you're down with this program? Are you sure you want to move up the ladder? Are you sure you want to, you know, stick around with this organization? Now, I know I'm not going to suggest that you leave, because leaving would mean you lose all of this. But we're not going to make you stay. And it's constantly keeping you in flux about where you actually stand with it, right?
Yeah, there's an ever-moving goalpost that you will always fall short of.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep convincing you that if you just go one step further, you're going to be right there. Actually, this is making me think again of psychiatry, which ironically L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology were vehemently against. That is a form of cult think. It's where you get so in the weeds and granular trying to break everything down that you get sucked into a world of your own, right? So number 4, suppress all doubt. I mean, that's obvious. Don't question the leader. Black and white thinking only. I think that's important to note, is that there's no such thing as nuance in these environments. It's either eternal damnation or eternal glory. And then this last one is where it's ringing a bell. Psychiatry. All impurity in the cult must be sought out and eliminated. There's a never-ending cycle of scrutiny of your sins. I wrote here body thetans, so that's what they do with the e-meters. They try to find these evil spirits that have latched on to you in a past life or in your current life, which, you know, it gets endlessly fractal and granular because it's like, oh, you're in your previous life 400 years ago, you committed this one sin and that's still attached to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have like this infinite search for the one final thing that's keeping you from becoming incredible.
Yes.
So again, that's with psychiatry, like, and not just psychiatry, but psychology being a method of, I don't say control, but it, you know, that was the thing with the woke movement was everybody got obsessed with their mental health. Oh, I'm neurodivergent. I have ADHD or AUDHD, or I'm level 1 autistic, or blah, blah, blah. So they have like all these things that they can attach to them as not excuses really, but as aspects of that eternal search within for the answer. And I think that's a form of the cult that people don't talk about is
Mm-hmm.
you look from the outside looking in, you're like, wow, these people are crazy. How do they not see it? It's like they don't see it because their eyes are turned inwards and they are scraping away at every memory, everything they've ever done, trying to find each little particle of imperfection.
Right.
Which I probably cited it last time we talked about this, but in the documentary and the book, Going Clear, it's about Scientology. There was an actor who was interviewed in it, and he describes it. He does it in a very specific way. Like, I can't do it on video, but he says they get you right here, and then he points in between his eyebrows, like by his third eye. He says they put you there, right behind your eyeballs, and I don't know. I can't really describe a more true way of what it feels like to be under this mind spell.
Right.
Is you are searching inwards and you dare not look outwards until you've found everything within that needs to be purified.
Right.
And the amount of the mental tax on that is unbelievable. And I'm not saying that I was ever in a cult, but I've been in hyper religious environments where the style of spiritual teaching is cult like. And that's what it feels like. Where you're constantly hitting the gas and the brakes at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what people get trapped in. And like, I don't know, I listened to an episode of Crow 777 last week where he interviewed a woman who was a Jehovah's Witness for like 40 years. And it's the same kind of thing. They get you trapped in this tiny world where you're constantly self-monitoring. And the cost of leaving is you lose everything.
Yep.
So that was quite a rant.
No, that's good. Yeah. So the trap is basically they give you a calculation to make, right? So in the case of the Jehovah's Witness interview that Crow did, the calculation was if you're not in the Kingdom Hall or if you're not part of the Jehovah's Witnesses, you're definitely going to be destroyed in the apocalypse. You're definitely going to go to hell or whatever. I don't remember what the calculation was. But it's like if you're not in, you don't have any protection. And if you leave, not only you're definitely not going to get in, but you have to stay. If you stay in, there's a chance. There's at least a chance that you'll be one of the 100,000 or whatever that gets swept up into heaven or whatever. The details aren't even that important. The point is they scare you into thinking that there's something that you can't violate. And as long as you don't violate that, there's still a 50, 60, maybe % chance that you won't get blown up anyway.
Well, I think that's an important thing to add to this list, actually, is a sense of impending doom so thorough that it can't be escaped. And I think this is being used in a lot of ways. Like, for one, climate change.
Mm-hmm.
You instill the normie brain or the leftist brain, and I'm not saying whether or not, climate change is real or not. I have my opinions on that, but that's beside the point. I'm just pointing to something that's outside of a religion that is the same tactic of make people scared of something that is totally out of their control. So, like in the example of Jehovah's Witnesses, they're all still waiting for the end of the world, and they're constantly in fear. Am I good enough? Am I good enough to make it? Yeah, it's an existential dread that is like, it's beyond just existential dread. It's like, not only will I be vaporized or annihilated, but the souls of all my friends, family, and everything depend on me staying dedicated to this belief system.
Right. Now, I don't mean to pivot, but one of the things that you will notice is that people who are usually raised hyper-religious or even in a cult, which we know many people who were raised that way just because of where we are, you and I, the people who are raised this way, it's as if there's a pendulum, right, that gets pulled up way off to one side. And when they break out, what happens is that pendulum drops, and depending on how high up it is, that's the amount of energy it's going to have to expend when it goes out. So one of the things that I know I've noticed, and probably you've noticed, is that when somebody's raised hyper-religious and they break out of that religious framework, they go all the way over to the other side. So the harshest Christians ended up being the wokest people as they grew up. Does that track?
Well, that was what the what was her name? I wrote it down because I wanted to interview her. That was what her experience, the Jehovah's Witness lady, was that when she busted out, she went full atheist.
Yep.
Terry Lynn at livetruehealth.com. But yeah, she went full atheist and started working her way back to some level of spirituality, which I relate to a great deal.
Right.
Because that's what I did. And I'm not saying, again, I didn't grow up in a cult, but I grew up around some bad religion. I'll just put it that way. And I'm not blaming anybody in particular. I would blame the authority figures of some of the programs I was a part of for wielding one of the greatest psychological weapons, well, possibly the greatest psychological weapon in the world against children, which pisses me off to no end. But you do start, like, once you get red-pilled, so to speak, that there is nuance to the world and that it's all more complex than you were taught it was, you tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
And because you're just trying to, it's not in the same way that in a cult you're searching for your sin. You're searching for what is true. And I think that's what happened with a lot of people during COVID. Everything got so ridiculous and so intolerable. They're like, I don't even care if I have to wear a tinfoil hat. I just want to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's the reaction, is when you realize that you've been had and it's a scam. Of course you develop a certain sense of hatred for the person who did that to you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, a common thing that I see is people who are on the right wing now, and I'm not saying it's a cult, calm down. There's a lot of people who are on the right wing now who are like, I was raised super liberal and I was raised to believe that racism was always bad, incorrect. There was nothing about that side of thing or that thing, or that social justice was the most important thing in the world. And then I got out of it, and now I'm like thoroughly right wing, and I think social justice is a scam and all of that stuff, and that's fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people get sucked into the opposite side of things because guess what? There's truth on both sides of things, and this is not me saying I'm a centrist or anything like that. I mean, listen, man, I do a show with Newsfist, for Christ's sake, right?
I don't know. You sound like a bleeding heart liberal. To
I
me
am a
right
bleeding
now.
heart liberal. What I'm talking about is not the specific beliefs of either side of it. I'm talking about the structure of thought, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I need something that answers everything. I need something and someone to tell me what's going on. And that may just be the condition of the normie. It may be. But
I mean, it's the American way, right? You want to buy a product and that be the end of it.
yeah, well, you get mad at Starbucks, so you slavishly start going to, I don't know, Caribou Coffee or something like that. And then they're going to let you down. You know, it's just it's switching. I always say it's like it's switching sides in a war. You change your flag, you're still a soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you've been trained this way, which is why I actually brought this here. This is a conversation about something called cult hopping. This is so well known in people who get out of cults. It's actually like a problem where people are so cult brained that they're like, yes, well, the answer to Christianity is obviously something like leftism. And then they just go hardcore into leftism so hard that they eventually tucker themselves out again. Right? And
yeah.
that's why they get all quiet. They're like, oh shit, this is serious. That, you know, some guy just burned himself alive in front of an Israeli embassy. Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
It usually takes something like that to completely snap someone out of this, but it's scary for people who have this mentality because now what do they do? Right?
You go searching for a new family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where, like, cults have this ability to give you a family that you never had. And I think it's intoxicating.
You hear that all the time.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, my example again was, you know, when I busted out of, I don't want to say busted out, but when I started to question my religion, there was a family that was waiting for me. And it was Matt Dillahunty and freaking not Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, and then The Atheist Experience, the TV show, and all that stuff. Like, it was like, oh, there's this family of people who like to ask questions and who aren't afraid to face the hard truths and blah, blah, blah. And so I hung out with them for a while, and then I realized that, oh, yeah, they're not right about everything. And, but, you know, that is what cults do, is they create a nice little landing pad for any wandering soul, and then they get you sucked in.
Right. So which do you want to go for? Do you want to go for the manipulation techniques, or do you want to talk about cult hopping?
I mean, we've talked about manipulation techniques in the past.
Mm-hmm. This is nothing new, right? They isolate you. They reconstruct your identity. They lead you down a road a little bit at a time. I mean, the most obvious example of this is Scientology, because it's all laid out in like a book. What was it? The Way to Happiness was the pamphlet.
The Bridge to Total Freedom, I think.
The Way to Happiness. Let's see if we can pull this up here. Way to Happiness. Yes. Okay, so this is a pamphlet by L. Ron Hubbard that they passed around for a long time. It didn't used to be openly associated with Scientology. There was a time when they went around and they just said, this is the way to happiness. And they gave you a road with steps and everything like that. And it wasn't until you did a little digging that you were like, oh, this is just freaking Scientology. Because it just looked like a little pamphlet. It looked like, it looked like anything. You'd see it in a church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't know the name L. Ron Hubbard, which everyone knows now, you might pick this up and look at it and be like, oh, that makes sense.
You know, L. Ron Hubbard is actually a proto-artificial intelligence.
Right there. It doesn't even have his name on the cover. Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking about the way he wrote books, where he would type so fast he was dripping sweat on the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And through all of that random data he put down, he came up with a religion, multiple.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Look at this. It almost looks like Christianity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have his name on it, right? This is the kind of pamphlet we would see.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so when you're entrained this way, when you are like this, wow, you want to subscribe to the newsletter? No, thanks.
No.
It's so easy to just jump from one side to the other. So I brought this up. If it's interesting, we'll keep listening to it. If it's not, we'll definitely do enough talking. I'm going to put the speed at 1.25 so we can get through more of it. But let's skip the intros, the hello, how are yous. Let's see if we can get right into this.
People don't tend to make them. But so, comments, questions down below the video would be most welcome. Now, Francis, you brought up the subject of cult hopping. So would you like to open on that? Because it's something we've seen a lot of.
Yes, and I've done it myself. So I think a lot of, because I was born and raised in the Organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. And when I left, so many know my background, but I left in my mid-40s together with my husband and children. But I can very vividly remember that I felt, especially in the beginning, completely lost, not knowing what to do, where to go, who to talk to, not knowing exactly what happened to me either. So it was in that void, actually, what you experience, a lot of people, and me included, just wanted to search some kind of a safety or people to talk to. And we found at that time on the internet, and I'm talking about early 2000, on the internet, we found a group that followed, so to speak. At first, we didn't feel it like following, but we found a group of people that were all former Jehovah's Witnesses. And there was a person who, he called himself E. Watchman. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Even wrote a book, and but he had
I don't
different.
watch anymore, so I don't really need anybody.
No, but I clearly remember that we were in awe of him, of how he explained or interpreted the Bible, and we didn't completely let go of some of the teachings of Jehovah's Witnesses, because we were completely confused yet, not knowing what to believe or who to believe in, and we were still searching for some kind of an answer or just a ground to stand on. And so we felt lost, and I think that's a very, very vulnerable time.
It is, yeah.
So if you experience that and you don't have somebody to talk to, then you're so vulnerable to fall into the hands of another person who wants to control you. And doesn't, and maybe in theory giving you the freedom to do whatever you want or to believe whatever you want, but in fact, that's not what's happening.
Now, hey, I got a point here too. Go ahead.
I was just going to say this is a different example of what an ex-cultist would do. I think, so like the greater the intensity of the cult, I feel like it takes longer to get out of it. Like you see this, like they left the Jehovah's Witness and then found like an ex-Jehovah's Witness group that still held on to some of the beliefs because wasn't totally comfortable throwing out the whole thing.
Yeah.
Same as Scientology. There's ex-Scientologist groups that still read Dianetics. So go on, your point.
Isn't that crazy though? That's exactly right. Ex-Scientology groups that are like, they've gotten away from the true teachings of L. Ron Hubbard. It's like, take it farther, man. L. Ron Hubbard wrote science fiction and did like weird magic rituals in the desert with, Iron Man from Jet Propulsion Labs. Like, it is deeper than that, man. But one of the things I want to point out that she said here, which is so true, listen to this.
To fall into the hands of another person who wants to control you. And doesn't, and maybe in theory giving you the freedom to do whatever you want or to believe.
Maybe in theory giving you the freedom to do whatever you want. Does that sound familiar?
Speak on that a little bit.
So, like, liberalism and leftism are unfairly combined into the same thing now. Maybe not unfairly, but they are combined frequently in the discourse online. Real liberals really have a problem with that. Because they're all like, we need to be free and we want to be free to think about things. And leftism, the cult leftism, is more like, they sucker you in with like, oh, you want to like, I don't know, sleep around or be in a polycule or worship a pagan god or, worship the devil or don't worship anything. You can do whatever you want over here as long as you don't do a racism.
Yeah.
Right.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The puritanical hedonism that they have.
Yeah.
Is so bizarre, but it's it's the perfect combination of like what you see in a cult is ugliness, and ultimate evil is seen as a good thing, whereas good things traditionally are seen as bad things, and it's directly at odds with biology and psychology, but they get you, it's jingling keys, really. Yeah, they give you total freedom to talk about all kinds of crazy, like, sex stuff and, have really weird personal relationships with people and all that. But then anything good that, would traditionally be good is seen as like a bad thing.
Right.
The whole like, even talking about it is confusing because that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
The more you're worried about the jingling keys, the more somebody can grab your wallet out of your pocket, right?
Right. Well, so like this is probably an oversimplification, but if you go into a building and they say you can't go in, you can go into any room in this building, but you can't go in that one.
Yep.
That's the room of primary focus, isn't it? It's like you see the door and you look at it and you're like, can't go in there.
Don't think about elephants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the only real way, and you see this all the time with people who like deconverted from Christianity and went to leftism, is like, you can blaspheme God, you can scribble all over icons, you can make fun of chick tracts and all that stuff, but they have a door too, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just a little bit foggier, right? It's like, I mean, broadly speaking, the door you can't go through is the racism door, is the anti-leftism door. You're not allowed to do that. And we saw this with Sargon, for example, when he used to be literally in the atheist community as a speaker. The moment he wanted to talk about something that went against this invisible door, he got just absolutely mobbed in Milwaukee, at Mythicist, Milwaukee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. But he found their door and they didn't freaking like it. And he didn't like it. He didn't like that door was there. And so he became less of an atheist guy and more of a political commentator.
Well, that was what was so interesting about that was when I was getting into the atheism thing, I was like, well, these people are so logical and they understand all of the logical fallacies and they know history and evolution and science and blah, 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 blah. And then I wasn't even in it for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to go to that it's impossible to say, Milwaukee thing. I was actually going to go there. And then I heard about Sargon of Akkad and all these people that were pissed off about it. And I was like, I don't even know who that guy is. But then I ended up not going because I was like, I don't want the drama. Like, I get enough of that. I go to art school. I don't want that to be invading my hyper logical genius society.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't go. But yeah, man, I've had way too much caffeine. I'm bouncing all over the place.
No, you're doing fine.
Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
Okay.
Believe whatever you want, but in fact, that's not what's happening. So in time, we figured out, took us a while, we figured out, well, here, the exact same interactions are taking place as what happened with Jehovah's Witnesses. There's like a hierarchy and the one who knows best and actually feels that they are being guided by God, and the rest actually only have to follow, or you have to have a discussion, but the end result of the discussion should always be that a watchman was right, or a group of people who supported him and believed in him. So that was we learned a lot about that by experiencing that. We are doing actually the same thing, and once we figured that out, we stopped being part of that and raised a lot of questions that we were seen again as the ones who didn't understand, and we thought, okay, well, okay, this has to stop here. So we learned a lot of that, and I've seen it happening to a lot of former members too. That they, after they leave the cult, they are desperate to feel a safe place where they can talk about it, where they can ask their questions, and it's most of the time it's not really a safe place where they end up in. So it could be another group that is just as controlling, but has just a different outlook. So they might not be Christian or Bible based. They might be more political, as if that's then the answer, or it can be more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Experiences.
I know people, like we've talked about people that we've known who have gone from a very traditional Christian worldview that they was instilled upon them in their youth and that they supported and that they did their best to believe in. And then, they hit their mid-20s and they were like, wait a second, something ain't right here.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't my independent thinking that led me to this conclusion. And so they jump out of it, and who's there waiting for them? Leftism.
Yeah. Politics generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta, they want to like test the opposite end of the spectrum. But I think the key thing is you got to be able to do what this woman did and smell the program.
Mm-hmm.
Like the problem isn't the coat of paint, it's the program.
Right.
I think that's like where a lot of, there are a lot of people out there who are, really good Christians, and they truly believe it, and they understand the nuances of it, but they also understand the hard rules of it. But they discovered it at an age where they had a fully functioning brain, and it lined up with what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think like that's the trouble with trying to sort of jump levels, not to be using Scientology as a reference. But I think if you're too young for sacred information, like what's in the Bible, I mean, I think you got to be really careful with it, because, kids, they take things very literally, or simple minds take things very literally.
Mm-hmm.
And that can kind of poison the well, so to speak, of the belief system. Like, that was my conclusion when I was in my early 20s and I became an atheist. Oh, the Bible, it's all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just it. I was like, it's all lies, it's all evil. There's nothing good in there, blah, blah, blah. It's just used to manipulate people. And then, as I got a little older, my brain started to develop more. And I saw the bald-faced evil that was in the world with COVID. I was like, well, the atheist community has no answers for this.
Right. Right. Because the
so I found myself wandering back to the spiritual, because it was like, these are spiritual questions we're dealing with, and logic can't answer them.
Right. Because the paradigm and the framework that the atheists were using going into COVID was, well, we're the party of science and logic and reason. And then you saw them doing the exact opposite of that. You saw them being like, Fauci is going to save the planet, and how dare you?
Also, we need to give kids sex changes at age 12.
Yeah, that kind of thing just started coming out. Like, we can do it with science.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, I remember that. And, that's where, I brought up this old term on the latest stream with Newsfist, is scientism, where, it's an old term, and I don't think it was ever supposed to be pejorative. Well, I use it pejoratively because I think it's retarded. But there was a letter, or a letter that C.S. Lewis wrote, a series of letters between him and a guy named Haldane. And Haldane was basically reviewing that hideous strength and the science trilogy, or the space trilogy and all that stuff. And Haldane was deeply embedded in this scientism worldview that, like, we don't need your mythological stuff. We don't need your Jesus. We don't need any of that stuff because what we have now is science. And so science itself became like a cult, and it wasn't supposed to be like that.
Well, that's what's interesting about the so-called scientific people on the left nowadays, is if you really want to be scientific, you have to be racist,
right.
And they can't do it.
No.
And I think like early sciences, like obviously there was a lot of science done about the difference between races.
Mm-hmm.
And the leftist religion says, well, you can't even talk about that.
Right.
We can talk about theory of how people are special in their own ways, but don't you dare say there's any genetic difference between humans. Like, how you can't even go there. It's like, how do we not go there?
Right.
If you want to be scientific, you have to reconcile with these things. And yes, it's inconvenient and it makes you uncomfortable. But that's the only way to do any kind of real science is you have to be honest.
Right. And that's the difference.
I don't want to do that.
That's the difference between an adult, grown-up human being and a child, right? Cult hopping and switching your allegiance to another place with another door that you can't go through. That's not being a grown-up, right? They really think that even having a conversation about something like genetics is automatically offensive and mean.
Yep.
Okay, what are you revealing about yourself there? The reason that people are sort of going toward having these conversations is because it's the door you can't go through. It's the rock you can't turn over. It is your icon. It is your idol, right? And it's like in Christianity, there were a lot of things, Christianity, in the version of Christianity that we saw a lot, there were a lot of doors that you couldn't go through. And one of the freeing things about leaving that was you could now go through these doors and really examine these things. And what we found on the other side of that was people who refused to examine their own forbidden doors. Mm-hmm. But an adult can talk about, a grown-up person can talk about just about, if not everything, anything, without getting upset automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, that's again, like this is why we have a podcast that, we have 300 something subscribers now. I think, it's like our opinions on a lot of this stuff are not popular, but we don't care because we're more interested in finding truth and people who are honest and authentic.
Yes.
We are in people that make us feel comfortable. Not that we're like super special boys or anything. I'm just saying, like, I think you got to get comfortable with ideas that don't make you feel comfortable. It's good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like any old idea, like, your inherent racism, that makes you uncomfortable. You don't want to look at, shut up. That's not what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you're drawing something.
I am drawing something. This may turn into nothing, but sometimes I have to like whiteboard ideas. So let's just say that down here, this is the filter of, I wish I could draw stickmen a little better, but all I've got is my mouse. So you're trying to get to truth, right? And that's an honest pursuit. And sometimes to get through that, you have to go through these different filters, right? Like different stairs. And
Sure.
at each level, there's a guy trying to sell you something. All right.
Yeah.
And at each level, it's, have you even read Aristotle? Have you even read Plato? Have you even read Marx and all of that stuff? And you have to go through all of these filters and you work your way up. And then at the end of it, what do you have? You have what they call, this is the truth. Right?
OT8
or whatever.
Or going clear.
This is how you work toward it, right? But you have to do it through their filters and you have to do it their way to get to their truth. But you don't look over here, right? Like let's put like a black box right here. Yeah. But it's only part of it, right? This part's off limits. That's the door you can't enter. You can't handle that. We're not going to go there. That's not included in our truth. The real way of doing it is like you just ignore all of these people. You go around it and you just go, what is true? And sometimes you read these things on the way up. But at the end of it, what they want you to do is they want you to stop right here in their little segment. And it's so funny because some of the most open-minded people are like the conspiracy people, right? They want you to stop at like Tartaria. They want you to stop in their flat earth little zone. They want you to stop there. But the thing is, it's not that it's a constantly moving target. It's just that the target of truth is so huge and all expansive, it actually doesn't have limits. But what they want to do is they want to keep you in here, in their truth. And there's a lot of people that get stuck there.
Yeah, and I think that's what people would call God, is that ultimate truth, the reason for everything. But then there's a whole bunch of people along the way that want to sell you. It's like Pilgrim's Progress. You know, it's like Christian has this sensation that something terrible is going to happen. He lives in a town literally called Destruction, and his only lead is an evangelist that comes by the village one day and says, you see that wicket gate on the horizon? And Christian says, yes. And he has to pursue this wicket gate. He has to leave his family behind. He has to go through untold hardships where he runs into these strange characters along the way that are giving him every reason to not pursue that thing over the horizon.
Right.
And the point of the story is that no matter what he runs into, he can still see that wicket gate. He loses sight of it a couple times, but he keeps going. Mm-hmm. He keeps heading in that direction. And in Pilgrim's Progress, it leads him, of course, to Christ. And that's still not the end of the journey.
Yeah.
You know, like his burden of sin is lifted, and then he's still got to march all the way to the gates of heaven. And I don't know, that story always resonated with me so well about what it is to live a life of pursuit of God. Is he ain't gonna just like, he's not gonna be some guy sitting on the side of the road that's like, hey, you made it.
Right.
Like, let's hang out. It's like, no, he's always just over the horizon, but he's beckoning to you to keep searching.
Well, and then, you know, he gets caught by a giant. He also ends up in a city that's full of hedonism and stuff like that. And at the end of the story, he actually just dies, meaning that the thing is a lifelong pursuit, right? Mm-hmm. He crosses a river and maybe does sink into it, but eventually he finds himself on the other side. And that's kind of what we're trying to get at here is like, there's all these places to stop along the road. But like she's saying, when you're sort of looking for another town of destruction to stay in, you're just going to stay there.
Yeah.
You know, so let's do a little bit more of this.
Of a conspiracy theory group or a controlling relationship. Hmm. So it's about hopping from one controlling group or person or situation to another without actually thinking about, okay, what happened to me? And what was the effect of the control? We need information, a lot of information about how the control took place, how we fell into the arms of the group, and what needs did we think the group would meet? And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered first before you can be involved with another group in a more healthy way and knowing what your boundaries are. But I
think that essentially that what happens is if you're involved in an authoritarian group where somebody else makes the rules and you come away from that group, then, as you say, there's a vacuum, there's a void, and the tendency is to fill that. When I left Scientology, I, of course, became one of the leaders of the independent Scientology movement. In fact, I think I may have been the first person to label it the independent movement, and it's now called the Indies. I found that I didn't wish to continue, but I actually defended the independent Scientologists for many years after leaving from the depredations of the mother cult.
Yeah, it's sort of in between step almost. Huh?
Well, Mr. Justice Leahy, who ruled in a case on a child custody case on Scientology, but in 1984, but chose to make his ruling public, which was very unusual. because it was a family case. But he said that the independent movement was a halfway house, and it can go various ways. I mean, back in the early 90s, a friend and I tracked 200 Scientology splinter groups, starting from 1950 and working onwards.
Wow.
We found 200 named groups, not just individuals who practiced afterwards, but named groups, things like ether and ampronistics and Dianology, synergetics. There were so many of these groups. And that persists. In fact, at the moment, I'm pretty sure there are far more people involved in the so-called independent movement, the Free Zone, the Runzorg, these groups out there, than there are in Mother Cult, because the Mother Cult's down. Scientology has about 25,000 members, and that's that, paid up members.
I didn't even know this guy was a Scientologist.
I know.
Or ex-Scientologist.
Yeah.
It's very hard to extract yourself from these programs.
Yeah, so this is actually something I've been thinking about. And I don't know how to label it just yet, so I'm probably not going to use the right words, but please bear with me, listeners. I'm still thinking about this. It's still developing. It's in the oven. It's cooking. If you poke it, you're going to get with a toothpick, there's going to be some dough that comes out of it. So calm down. I was thinking about the difference. So like, because it's the 250th anniversary, I was thinking about the difference between liberty and freedom. Right. And we think of these as interchangeable, and they probably are. Like maybe they're synonyms in a thesaurus or something like that. But I was thinking about this in terms of being free from this kind of a structure, and joining another structure that gives you liberty to do things that you weren't allowed to do in the other one. Right. So as you said, the puritanical hedonism of the left wing is attractive to people who have only known just plain Puritanism, where you're not allowed to ever do anything. If you look at that girl, you might as well have, slept with her. That kind of thing. They're like, how dare you, be a straight person attracted to the opposite sex or something like that. So when you get out and they go, well, we just all bang all the time, you go, holy shit, that sounds great. And so you're completely out of balance. But the difference is that liberty appears to be, and this is, again, I could just be using the wrong words. Liberty appears to be conferred by an authority, and they can be selective about what you are at liberty to do. Freedom is knowing that you could do anything, but that there's a time and place for everything. And that there is such a thing as doing too much liberty, right? So what you see frequently with people who get out of these things is if they don't find another cult to join, they find an addiction. And you hear that all the time, right? So like some people will get out of it and they won't know where to go. So they find alcohol or they find drugs or they find something like that just fills in that gap. But it's not going to fill in. It's not going to fill it in all the way because it's just it's a liberty. You're allowed to do that now. And so you don't have a problem having a couple of drinks all the time, just to keep your nerves steady, et cetera, because, you went through something so hard and that sort of thing. But this is what this is what I'm trying to get at, is that the liberty to do something does not mean you should do it or that it is inherently good. And truly being a free person means that you don't need someone to tell you that you can never go behind that door. If freedom is knowing you can go behind the door, that it's maybe dodgy to go out there or dangerous or whatever, but you can handle it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think that's like where the argument is still made that, when you get out of an incredibly oppressive cult or system, the instinct is to just, I need as much freedom as I can possibly get. Right.
Right.
But that doesn't create society. You need some kind of structure if you want to get things done. Like if you pare all this away to what is it to be a human in this place, like, take it back to like caveman times or even like the Garden of Eden. It was very simple. You have the sun, the moon, you have day and night, you have light and dark, and your survival, your continuation depends on the natural order, because you are part of it. You were created by it, by God. And that's all you would know. You wouldn't have a church to go to, a mosque to go to. You wouldn't have businesses trying to take your attention away for, any number of reasons. It would just be you and the world. And I think that's what a lot of these people are trying to get at. I think that's what a lot of us are trying to get at, especially in the age of the scam. We want to find the one last patch of grass that there is to touch. And I think that, that liberation, that freedom can be very scary.
Yes.
When you're used to the cage, Truman prefers his cell,
right,
as you call it.
Right.
And man, I don't know, this is such a hard-hitting topic.
We may have to do another extended show about this at some point. We do this all the time.
There was one connection with your truth chart, with one of the clips we looked at earlier, where that guy was breaking down these TikTok videos. They want you to just buy this app.
Yeah, that's this guy.
They want you to, they're saying this stuff because they actually want you to go to their website. And you have to cut yourself from all of that. Which again, it sounds kind of, I don't know, woo woo to be like, find your truth. But really, like at the very base level of it, what is spirituality? Well, it's a connection between you and God. And, of course, God can use any means to communicate. But ultimately, like, what better way to connect with it than through a direct connection, which is, prayer and asking. All this other stuff is like, it's like nice bonuses, but ultimately what it comes down to is you want to have a connection to you do have a connection to the divine. I'm kind of in the camp of like, follow that as best you can. Everything else is gravy. But, I don't know, like, I'm obviously not a convicted religious person in any sense of the word, but, whatever it takes to get there, just as long as you're not doing harm to yourself or to other people. Yeah, I probably talked myself into a corner. I'm probably going to make some people mad, but
that's okay. Hey, that's okay. I don't expect that everyone will be excited about this because, quite frankly, these are hard-hitting topics, and it can be convicting to hear things like this. Like, oh man, I thought that this was it because the guy that I hated over here, this little guy, this bastard who told me that this was the only way, I hate him so much I'm going to go over here and do this. And then I'm going to end up with another guy who's just like him.
Yeah.
It's like
that's the nature of what we're talking about, though, is it's incredibly complex. And I think, while this isn't the most entertaining episode, this is kind of like where you're bashing your head against the wall trying to figure out where are we going with this. But, these are the kind of conversations that I like to have where we don't have a great answer that we can point to because it means there's still a mystery that we need to do our best to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to go back real quick and then we'll have to wrap up. I'm out of time. But that difference between liberty and freedom, I'm going to keep thinking about that and see if I can find the right words. Maybe I'll ask a robot to help me. But I think when you have an identifiable set of instructions for how to get to something, like the way to happiness, right? Where all you have to do is just follow these steps and you're gonna be OT clear or whatever the hell. I don't think you can follow a set of instructions. I think you have to learn it for yourself because well, I don't know. I may be out of gas on that one. I need more time.
Hold on. I mean, I can tack one more thing onto that.
Sure.
And this is sort of a Christian way of looking at things, I guess, but everybody is made unique. And I don't think that one size fits all. But one size may fit quite a few people.
Yeah, well,
unfortunately, I'm not one of those. I have a giant head and that hat won't fit me, but you know, or maybe my head's too small because I don't know, maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am, but
well, it's something like this, right? So that maybe there's a jacket that fits you better than another jacket, but we all agree that there's a shape of a jacket and a function to the jacket, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting pretty abstract and in the weeds.
Well, just the word shape makes me laugh now because I think of the Shape Store. That's like, maybe that's what we're searching for is this long road fraught with peril and strange characters, and the Shape Store was within us all along. You're not laughing.
I am laughing. Yes, the shape was with you all along. Good God.
You are the shape. A special snow shape. Handcrafted by the divine.
But don't go over there, because then you're a shape we don't like. You know, you can be any shape but that shape.
Well,
what a way to end, man.
I know. That was definitely like the most autistic episode I've done in a while.
Well, welcome back. I mean, I know you and Daniel have been busy. But this is the kind of thing. This is like early CTC, bro. We did some slop though. We did have Arthur and Callie visiting the Minions drive-through. So hopefully that scratches the slop itch for people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this episode definitely just felt like two guys talking more than anything.
That's fine. That's what a podcast is. So we'll be excited to see you guys in the comments explaining to me that I need to get a dictionary and things like that. But remember to like the podcast and all of that good stuff, and help us out with the donations. Join the Patreon. Buy some sport drink. We'll see you next time on the Clowntown Chronicle. Everybody have a great week in the 250th year of this beautiful country. We'll see you next time on CTC.
For now we must be on our way till our meeting next far away. It's so nice to talk with you. We'll miss you, but we'll see you next Monday. Episode 1, me in a closet, talking to a houseplant, 'cause it's all I've got. Mic on a shoebox, chair from the curb. I say roll the ad, but then English if we had no donors, no patrons at all, we'd mime the episodes on a strip mall wall. Every soundboard effect is just a dial-up tone, and the credits just say, made by me all alone. So here's to the legends who keep this thing straight.